Hey babe, what's for dinner tonight? Can I have something else with the steak? Hey babe, what's for dinner tonight? Are we eating something else with the broccoli? Wow, now this is perfect. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Kasana Health channel, the best health information channel for people living with prediabetes or type 2 diabetes. If you clicked on this video, it's because you want to know which diet is the best for type 2 diabetes, the keto or the vegan diet. And that's exactly what I'm going to be talking about today. But first, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Sarah and I'm a pharmacist with a passion for diabetes education. So why am I talking to you about diets and nutrition if I'm not a dietitian? Well, because food is just as powerful as medication. Even Hippocrates, the father of medicine, agrees with me. After all, thousands of years ago, he did say, "Let food be thy medicine, and medicine be thy food." And obviously anyone who can quote Hippocrates is really smart. So, you should listen to me. As a pharmacist, I'm always talking about the importance of lifestyle habits for the management of blood sugar levels and diabetes, so you can live a healthier life while taking fewer pills. That's always been my mantra. So today, let's talk about which diet is best for type 2 or prediabetes. There are two diets that have exploded in popularity lately, the keto and the vegan diet. And both have incredibly loud and passionate advocates who claim that being keto or being vegan is the end-all solution to fixing diabetes, and that the medical community is downright stupid and incompetent for not promoting this or that diet. Honestly, I can't wait to read the comments about that below this video. Anyway, my promise for this video is to summarize the potential health benefits as well as the potential drawbacks or risks of each of these diets. Before I begin, I want to get one thing out of the way, and that is that I hate, is that too strong? Okay, I highly dislike the word diet. No, I actually hate it. And the reason I hate diet is because it implies that you're changing the way you eat temporarily, so for a limited amount of time. But what happens after you're done dieting? Do you go back to the previous way you were eating that led you to poor health in the first place? The thing is, diets simply don't work. Many studies confirm this. They work for a limited amount of time, but when you look at the long-term success of dieters, the percentage of people who actually are successful is usually low. So we can talk about this for a long time, but that's not the purpose of this video. I just wanted to say that diets don't work because no one goes on a diet for the rest of their life. What works is making changes to your eating habits. When something becomes a habit, it becomes really easy to do that for the rest of your life. So if you're considering becoming keto or vegan, you have to first be aware of their pros and cons. And second, you have to make sure that you are committing to this restrictive way of eating for the long term, not just for, 8 or 12 weeks. With that being said, let's dive in. First on the menu is the keto diet. Keto stands for ketogenic, and it's basically a high-fat, low-carb kind of diet. High-fat, low-carb means eating lots of meat, poultry, eggs, cheese, avocados, or, coconut oil. Now, this can seem a little counterintuitive for people who are overweight and have been told their entire lives that they need to lose weight. How can we burn fat if we're eating fat, right? But that's exactly the goal of the ketogenic diet. So by eating high-fat, low-carb, you're essentially forcing your body to use fat as its main source of energy instead of carbs or sugar. So for reference, the amount of carbs recommended on a keto diet is max 50 grams per day, which really isn't a lot. To put this in perspective, 50 grams of carbs is reached by eating one bagel or an apple plus a banana. So let's talk about the potential health benefits of the keto diet. The number one benefit is that you are very quickly able to lower your blood sugar levels simply because your consumption of carbs is what directly impacts your blood sugar. Given the fact that the average American consumes more than 200 or sometimes even more than 300 grams of carbs per day, you can understand how dropping to 50 grams per day can drastically reduce your blood sugar levels. Another benefit of the keto diet is a reduced need for insulin or other anti-diabetic medications, which makes sense since you are lowering your blood sugar levels with food. Finally, the last benefit I'll mention is the potential for weight loss. So usually the keto diet can suppress your appetite, which is, always helpful for weight loss. And since your body becomes adapted to burning fat for energy, you can supposedly burn more fat and more calories. But don't forget that you won't lose any weight on a keto diet if you're also consuming too many fats, because if your body isn't using or needing this extra fat for energy, it's going to keep storing it in your body. Now, let's talk about the potential drawbacks or risks of the keto diet. Number 1, hypoglycemia, or dangerously low blood sugar. This can happen when you drastically reduce your carb or your sugar intake. That's especially more dangerous for people who take insulin or anti-diabetic drugs and don't know how to adjust their meds or their doses when they're making their shift to a very low-carb diet. Number 2, consuming too many saturated fats, which is associated with heart disease. So when you lower the amount of carbs you consume, you have to replace these carbs with something. And in the keto diet, you replace your carbs with fat. Now, fat isn't inherently bad for you. You have different types of fats. Unsaturated fats, for example, are considered good fats, heart-healthy fats. So those are the fats that are found in nuts, seeds, avocados, vegetable oil, and certain types of fish like salmon or trout. Saturated fats, on the other hand, should be limited because they have the opposite effect on heart health. Those are the fats that are found in animal products, so fatty cuts of meat or dairy products. Even though in the last few years, many researchers have been saying that saturated fats aren't as bad for our health as we used to think, they're still not the best choice for fats, so it's best to err on the side of caution when going on a keto diet. Number 3, keto flu. This is something that is known to happen right after someone switches to the keto diet, because it takes a few days and sometimes up to a few weeks for the body to adapt and be able to burn fat as its main source of energy. This adaptation period can cause withdrawal-like symptoms or flu-like symptoms, including nausea, headaches, feeling dizzy, weak, having diarrhea, or sugar cravings. Not everyone experiences the keto flu to the same extent. For some people, these symptoms will last about a week, and for others, it can last more than a month. Number 4, dehydration and electrolyte balance. I won't go into details here because that's not the point, but it's good to be aware of this like everything else I mentioned, so you can take your precautions, hydrate properly, and take electrolytes if needed. Number 5, hormonal imbalance, especially for women. Without getting into too much detail, carbs are a crucial part of a woman's health. So if a woman suddenly and drastically decides to reduce the amount of carbs she's consuming, it can cause a lot of stress to the body, which in turn increases cortisol levels and disrupts the more complex and delicate female hormonal balance. There are actually many studies that have shown that it's harder for women to lose weight on a keto diet or to even stay on a keto diet. So this sums up the potential benefits and the potential risks of the keto diet. Now let's move on to the second item on the menu, the vegan diet. Veganism is the most restrictive kind of vegetarian diet, meaning that no foods derived from animals are consumed at all. No eggs, no dairy, no fish, and obviously no meat of any kind. In the past decades, there have been many studies that look at vegetarian or vegan diets for the prevention or the treatment of type 2 diabetes. No, I'm not talking about all the pro-veganism Netflix documentaries here. There are way too many of those in my opinion. I'm talking about actual studies. So, with that in mind, let's talk about the potential benefits and drawbacks of the vegan diet. So the health benefits of a vegan diet can include, first, a lower risk for heart disease. So if you do it right and you follow a plant-based diet properly, you are eating mostly whole foods. So fruits, vegetables, grains, legumes, and nuts. All this means that you're also consuming a lot less saturated fats, which come from animal sources and are associated with poor heart health. As for the other health benefits of a vegan diet, many studies have found that when done properly, it can also lead to less insulin resistance, less hypertension, and lower cholesterol. In some cases, the vegan diet can also help obtain a lower percentage of body fat, which in turn means a lower risk for many chronic diseases. Finally, I feel like I need to add this benefit here before I get yelled at by a vegan activist. It's also better for the environment, the planet, and the animals. Moving on now to the potential drawbacks or risks of the vegan diet. First of all, vegan foods aren't necessarily always healthy. This is kind of the reason why when I was talking about the benefits earlier, I was always saying when done properly. Vegan diets often include a higher intake of carbs, so chips for example, or other ready-made vegan foods. So we can talk about fake meats or veganized desserts. A lot of times, to achieve a similar consistency or flavor, companies will add more salt or fillers like starches, gums, or pectins. and that can increase your sugar or your carb count. So when following a vegan diet, it's very important to watch your portions, use lower glycemic index foods, and also choose foods that are higher in fiber. Number 2, nutrient and vitamin deficiencies. To be more specific, when following a vegan diet, you will want to make sure you're getting enough vitamin B12, calcium, iron, and omega-3s. Of course, you can get these vitamins and nutrients in your foods as long as you know which foods contain them and you're making sure that you're including a variety of these foods in your diet. But I find that it's important to know about the risks of these deficiencies so you can watch out for them and take supplements if needed. Number 3, lower protein intake. I know a lot of vegans will fight me back on this one, but it's kind of true. Now, I'm not saying that it's impossible to get enough protein on a vegan diet, but your choices are more limited. So it requires being diligent and learning which variety of foods to include. Proper education and planning become key to a successful vegan diet. Alright, as you can see, there is no one diet fits all. Both of these diets can be beneficial, but they come at a cost. They are both very restrictive, and the more restrictive something is, the harder it is to adhere to it for the rest of your life. They also both require that you take the time to educate yourself and plan your meals properly so you don't become deficient in any vitamins or nutrients. Now, if you decide to choose one of these diets for the management of your prediabetes or type 2 diabetes, because for you it's a way of eating that satisfies you, that you enjoy, and that you want to maintain for the rest of your life, please know that I will never discourage you from it. However, I would highly recommend that you get a doctor's appointment and follow up with your diabetes care team very regularly so they can keep an eye on your lab results, help you manage or adjust your meds or your insulin as needed. Of course, you can also decide not to become keto or vegan and still change your eating habits in a way that will positively impact your health and your blood sugar levels. I personally think that we can use elements of both these diets to guide us towards healthy eating. So one, I would definitely think that we can all reduce the amount of carbs we eat every day without being as restrictive as being on a keto diet, and we can still get amazing results on our blood sugar balance. And 2, I think that we should definitely include more whole foods and plant-based protein in our meals without necessarily cutting out all animal foods from our lives. This can also be super helpful at improving our heart health and our blood sugar management. Remember that the most important thing is that you find something that works for your body and your blood sugar levels. And at the end of the day, you want to follow a diet that is sustainable for you. That's it for today. Let me know in the comments below if you've ever tried to go on a keto or vegan diet. What did you struggle with the most, or what was easiest for you when you switched to that diet? Share your experiences with us so we can all learn from each other. If you've enjoyed this video and learned something new, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel to see more videos like this one. It really supports me and the work that I do. Take care, everyone. Stay healthy, stay safe. I will see you in the next video.
Wait, I'm not finished.
There's salad on the floor.
Not much. How good was that?